Hello, grade 10, and welcome back to KIS Online. This is your Unit 5, Week 3. We had finished our Week 1, if you can remember. We had our reading, and we've learned must and should. And for our Week 2, we had also our reading, all about cheat. And now this is our Unit 5, Week 3. We will discuss again must and should. And we have new modal verbs, and that is have and don't have to. Unit 5's title, School Life. Again, I welcome you to Unit 5, Week 3. Today, we will learn about modal verbs. I will give you 3 sets of modal verbs. First set, we had affirmative and negative plus the usage of each verbs. I'll give you the details, all right? So we had 3 sets. Set 1, must for affirmative, mustn't for negative. And we use must and mustn't when we talk about rules and strong obligations. Second set, we have should for affirmative, shouldn't for negative, and we use should and shouldn't in giving recommendations or advices. Set 3, have to for affirmative, don't have to for negative. And we use have and don't have to when there's obligation, we use have to, and for no obligation, we use don't have to. So don't forget this. These are our rules. 3 sets, must, mustn't. Set 1 for rules and strong obligations. Should, shouldn't. Set 2 in giving recommendation or advices. And we use have for obligation and don't have if there's no obligation. Memorize these 3. All right, let's go for examples. Again, what modal verbs are we going to use when we talk about rules and strong obligations? Must and mustn't. Number 1, you must tell an adult about it. That's a rule. So you use must. Number 2, people mustn't cheat. That's also a rule. You mustn't cheat. I mustn't cheat. People mustn't cheat. That's for rules again, but written in negative form. That's why we use mustn't. All right, let's go to example for giving recommendations or advices. You should study and help people. That's a recommendation. That's an advice. You should. It's not a rule, but it's a recommendation. So we use should. Number 2, you shouldn't be noisy in class. That's a recommendation also. You shouldn't be noisy. We can be noisy, but as an advice, you shouldn't be noisy in class. Let's go to obligation. Take note of set 1, rules and strong obligations. That is a strong obligation. It's near to rules. But here in set 3, only obligation, meaning you are obliged to, you are needed of to do something. That's why we use have and don't have to. So here are your examples. You have to get good grades. It's not a rule, It's not an advice, but you need to. All right? You are obliged to. So you have to get good grades. Because if you get bad grades, it's not a good action as a student. So you are obliged to have good grades. That's why you use have to. Number two, they don't have to cheat to be successful. Yes, that's an obligation. You don't have to. They don't have to cheat to be successful. So these are our examples. Again, set one, rules and obligations. We use must and mustn't. Set two, in giving advices or recommendations, we use shouldn't and should. And in giving obligation and no obligation, we use have to and don't have to. Memorize the three sets. Now let's go to your exercise. Okay, you need to read this article and then circle or underline your correct answer, your own answer. Okay, you have to analyze and you have to understand. What are we going to use? Is it for rules? Is it for giving advices? Or is it for obligation? So you have to identify which set, and then is it in affirmative or negative? You can pause this video and write your answers. And after this, I will play an audio and let's check the correct answers.
Track 2.20, Exercise 2, School Rules. The UK. The school leaving age in the UK is 16, but you don't have to leave school at 16. The USA. Students in many American schools mustn't have chewing gum. It's against the rules. In some states, like Florida, students must stay at school until they're 18. It's the legal school leaving age. In other states, like Iowa, they don't have to go to school after the age of 16. Some people think that all states should change the school leaving age to 18 because 16 is too young. Japan. Children have to pass an exam before they can go to some primary schools. Some secondary schools say which films students mustn't watch at the cinema. Some students think the school shouldn't do this because the cinema isn't at school. Thailand. In Thailand, students must clean their classrooms. They also have to sing the national anthem before school.
All right. And these are our answers. Number one, don't have to. Number two, mustn't. Number three, must. Number four, don't have to. Number five, should. Number six, have to. Number seven, mustn't. Number eight, shouldn't. Number nine, must. And number 10, have to. And don't forget, each correct answer give 2 points. Every wrong answer give 1 point. Therefore, for this activity, perfect score 20 out of 20. All right, how many points have you got? I'm excited to know. So you can comment your name, your section with your score on our grade 10 advanced English group. Again, don't forget to comment your name, your section with your score on our grade 10 advanced English group. All right, and that's the end of our Unit 5, Week 3. And See you again on our next video. This is your teacher, Sir Joey, saying, enjoy learning online and be safe. God bless everyone and bye-bye.